Which setup has the best one-shot potential? That's actually a good question because there's a lot of setups that have really good one-shot, and also it depends on how you view one-shots. Like, do you consider a one-shot a true combo? Like, for instance, like, you know how this R2 into this R1 is a true combo, right? Do you consider that a one-shot if you land, like, the whole thing? Or do you consider the one-shot only the actual first blow? Because that's going to change, like, what you put in this equation. Like, for instance, sword lands here. If you optimize it to the fullest, it can have some one-shot potential. Gug's crouch attack RKR can have some one-shot potential. Great Chaos, what's the name in this game? Giant Flame Take D is an actual one-shot if you spec properly and you boost everything. But keep in mind, like, if you want an actual, like, actual one-shot, it's gonna involve the same thing for every setup. Poison over buffing, stacking all the buffs that exist in the game, into, like, all the damage buff, and then you land your hit while all those buffs are active. That's how you get the one-shot. And obviously all your talismans are all going toward damage as well. So at the end of the day, like, you sacrifice so much in order to get that damage. Like, you really put yourself into a situation where the stars have to align for you to land that thing. It can land, and it will land, and if you go for that, you will get one-shot kills. But on the other hand, you also open yourself up to losing invasions that you would have won otherwise if you played a more conservative game where you just try to whether your opponent outplay them a little bit and just survive for a period of time. Like, for instance, what I'm doing here, right? My build is spec for mostly defense, except for my armor that's very suboptimal. It's really more for fashion. Fashion is poise, and poise is really why I have this armor. But aside from that, like, you're still gonna have probably a better outcome with something like this that has high survivability. With, let's say, the sword lance here, where I can still hit the combo for an insane amount of damage, like around 1200. And I just need to land two of those, like one like this, one combo, and then another one. And then that should be able to kill, like, pretty much every player with two combos. Instead of putting everything in the same basket, removing, like, all my defense talismans, like all of that, changing my armor, like Rakshasa, putting myself into range of getting 2 to 3 shot by basic stuff in order for me to do the one-shot combo that kills, like, people with one combo. I'm gonna land it, I'm gonna kill people with one shot, but in the long run, there's a more likely chance that I will die by my decision to go for the absolute one-shot over something that's a little bit more balanced. With that being said, with the true one-shot, you will win invasions that you would have otherwise not won if you went for the more, like, conservative approach. Like, for instance, if you're fighting a gank of dedicated gankers, the chances of you getting lucky, and what I mean by getting lucky is you have the time and space to pull off that R2 combo twice on the same player without anyone else intervening to stop you, are extremely low, way lower than you getting clipped versus you know, you landing the combo, like, only once, even if you're more squishy. Like, basically your odds of landing the big combo once without taking any damage are higher than you landing that combo twice in the same amount of in a reasonable time span to kill someone without them getting saved. I don't know if you follow what I'm saying there. That's how you should be looking at it. And it's the same thing for duels, right? Like, in duels, you can have a build that's, like, basically just spec for offense, but what are you gonna do with that build? At the end of the day, like, you can win duels. There's a higher chance that you will get lucky, but there's also there's also a good chance that you will got a headshot with that. There's also a good chance that you will pay the price of not having good defense. Like here, for instance, right? Perfect example here. If I one-shot that Phantom, let's not say the first one that we killed with the arrows, like let's say the second one, when we went up there, we did, and you know, Ender, and we just started trading with him. Basic gameplay, anyone can do that. Let's just rewind that. What if we killed that Phantom in one shot or two shot with something like extremely overbuffed? But we're also extremely squishy. What would happen is we would destroy that Phantom right away. But the host that came to the side and attacked us, which almost killed us in this very invasion, but we survived, you're probably going to lose this very invasion just because you're not going to have enough defense and to be able to tank whatever the host is doing for damage to you. As opposed to there, where it takes you a little bit longer to kill that Phantom, but you also survive what the host dishes out to you right after you kill the Phantom. So that sacrifice there that just happened, where you have to accept taking some damage from the host in order to kill the Phantom, that's pretty much a given in most invasions. Like, you need to be able to tank a hit in order to get a finishing blow on someone. That happens very often. So it's important to have survivability. And most of the time, it's more important than having offense in the long run. But if you take invasions case by case, there's going to be... So here's how you look at it, right? Either you look at the big picture, and you look at every invasion that would happen in the span of, like, a session, or even, like, you know, a month, a week, a year, you name it. Either you look at the invasions like that as like one big picture, or you look at the invasions individually, and you look at your odds of winning an invasion, and you take every single invasion individually and you look at them into details and see, like, okay, like, what are my odds? Do I have odds of winning this, or is it impossible? And chances are your odds of winning impossible invasions will be higher when you have insane damage. Basically, you have the potential to win way more invasions with insane damage, but you also increases your odds of losing. So basically, high risk, high reward. That's basically what it comes down to. So the more you put into damage and you sacrifice defense, the more high risk, high reward it becomes, the more you increase your chances of being successful in a specific invasion, but the lower your chances of being successful in the long run. That is, although that's only true if you are better than your opponents. So for instance, if you're not very good at the game, you just bought the game, you just started doing PvP, whatever, and you're trying to invade. Stacking defense is not going to help you increase your win rate. Stacking offense, though, is going to help you to get lucky. And so at the end of the day, you're going to have way more success if you're not experienced with the game, doing insane damage over having insane defense. But if you're more experienced, it's likely going to be the opposite. You know, to a certain extent, like, you still need to be able to do damage. But with the way Elden Ring is, you do so much damage in this game already that it's not gonna... I didn't mean to do that. That it's not gonna matter, like... it's not gonna matter as much. Thank you, Ninja Turtle with a beard.
Hey.
I don't want to leave him alive, but okay, he just wants to fight. Let's give him his fight. I feel bad, but imagine bowing to that. It's just show him that we appreciate that he didn't gank, but you see what I mean by insane damage, right? Like, our build is basically like more focused on survivability than on pure offense, yet we actually one-shot that guy, you know? If you consider true combos a one-shot, we one-shot that guy. Obviously, he didn't have as much health, but it just goes to show that I'm doing still, even if he didn't have like a good amount of health, 1400 damage is still very significant, and that's still an insane amount of damage. And so for me, like in that fight, for instance, if you take that fight, rewind that, and put me into a character that's very squishy and one-shots that guy. It doesn't change anything if I one-shot him right now with heavy armor, or I one-shot him with a glass cannon that overdoes the damage. Basically, I'm just putting myself at risk of getting hit by the guy, let's say 3 times and dying, over this here, whereas if I get hit once or twice or 3 times, you know, nothing is going to happen. I'm probably gonna two-shot him or one-shot him eventually with this current build that I have. And keep in mind, the build that I have right now is not actually like an optimized build. The armor that I'm wearing, I know people look at this and think this is uber meta, but Solitude armor is actually pretty mediocre. It's very, very heavy and has very low defense for the weight. The only thing good about it is the poise that it gives, and the fact that it's cool fashion. I'm a bit confused as to where the host is, though. To be honest, I feel like I'm missing something here. Oh. I think I'm supposed to go down the elevator, right? Yeah, focus is very high too. Yeah, focus. Okay, they're going back up here. Okay, so for these guys, let's go with this. Oh. Okay, change of plan then. We're not there. Actually, let's do that. This is Oroboro's long-lost brother. Very lost, actually. Alright, let's give Asha a taste of his own medicine.